All right, very happy to welcome my good friend. I feel like everyone I know right now is getting divorced, so I just point them your direction. Divorce. I feel like everyone I know right now is getting divorced, so I just point them your direction, buddy.
I'm happy to be there for them. I feel bad for your friend network, but you're in that age where, yep, it's time. It's
Yeah.
time to go
What,
forward.
what do you find? Because one of my buddies, Josh, who've spoken with, he's, fresh into this divorce, and it's kind of rough right now because tensions are still high on both sides. But I've just told him, like, hey, all I can tell you from my experience, it was the same thing, but it gets better with time, right? In
Oh
most
yeah,
cases, it gets better with time.
yeah. I suppose there are those people that really lament that it is a tough time in life, and I certainly am sensitive to that. I always look at the positive side. You're not getting divorced generally because everything was so wonderful and you're getting along so well.
Yeah.
But people do like dysfunction and they gravitate towards it. I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, if it's not working, let's stop banging our head against the wall. There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of other people out there. There's just a lot of life to live. So, I'm not saying just close the door on anything and not try, but move on.
Yeah, and then I've got another buddy right now who is going through that phase where you know how it is. There's a narrative on each side after a
Oh
divorce.
yeah,
And so he's getting painted in one light. And the problem is he was, married for a long time. So all of his friends, aside from maybe one or two, all came in the couple category, right?
oh yeah.
Well,
Got to choose which side you're going to be on.
yeah. So sides have been chosen and he's been painted in a certain light. And I'm just like, he called me up. He said, hey, I just appreciate you being my friend. It's like, dude, I've been divorced and I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't care
No,
what you did. I said, I'm still going to be your friend. And we all make mistakes. So I'm like, I'm here
yeah.
for you. So he's going through a rough time right now, but it does get better. And by the way, you got to check out YouTube because Colin's a badass. Right now, he looks like a DJ because the headphones, one ear is falling down and he's got one ear on. It looks like you're kind of like one of those DJ guys spinning records. I love that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I can hear the crowd as well as I got my ear in the disc.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right, so we're looking at our over-unders that we have over my shoulder. I
Oh
pinned them
yeah.
up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
How are we looking right now with our over-unders?
We're looking great. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. The college ones, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good about Utah, but they got some cream puff games coming up. But Oregon, I have unders. You took the overs,
Yeah.
and I took the unders, 10.5 on Ohio State and 10.5 on Oregon. And Ohio State just has nothing in front of them to just go undefeated. Oregon, they got their one loss, so I
Yeah.
just need one more loss to get it. But they have Iowa,
On the road.
USC, yeah,
USC.
and then USC, and then University of Washington. All are they're going to be favored in all those games. But USC could clip them. After watching my Huskies this last weekend, I'm not as
That was a rough
optimistic.
game.
That was a rough game.
Rough game. All right, so here's the update. So Colin took the Steelers wins over at 8.5.
Yep,
I took the over as well. That's looking
feeling
pretty good. I feel good about them right now because Aaron Rodgers it's amazing. You lead the
Yeah.
Jets, you start playing acceptable football again. Seahawks, you took the over of wins, 8.5. I took
Yep.
the over as well.
Yep.
That's looking
They're
really good
looking
right now.
That defense is just nasty.
Yeah, they get pressure with the front four. They've got young talent, and Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba have formed quite the
Oh,
tandem, have
yeah.
they not?
They have. And just looking at yesterday's game, they had 4 turnovers in a game, and the defense just kept coming out and stopping Houston. Houston couldn't do anything.
They tried to let the Texans cover that game last
Oh,
night,
they
and they
tried.
couldn't take advantage of it.
Nope.
All right, the Panthers regular season win total of 6.5.
I know.
You took the over. I took the under. But I would say that the over is in play right now.
Oh, yeah. They won 4 games.
They're running the football extremely well, and they're getting decent play from their
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yep.
They've been impressive.
And he's, I don't know if he's going to be playing. Bryce, I don't know if he's going to be playing. And we got what are they, the red missile or whatever his nickname
the Red
is.
Rifle.
Red
yeah.
Rifle. That's
Yeah,
what
the
it
Red
is.
Missile.
Whatever.
What is
Red
he,
Rocket.
Russian?
Red Rocket.
That's good. 49ers over the 10.5 for the 49ers. I took the under. Right now, 10.5 over is looking pretty good.
It's looking good, but look at how many injuries, and they keep somehow winning games. That's the amazing part of it. If they could get some players back,
Yeah.
Purdy and Kittle, and they lost both Bosa and Fred Warner, and
It's
that's
insanity.
huge.
Yeah, here's the number. I found out this number. So right now, between Purdy, Warner, and Kittle, They have $287 million in guaranteed money that's not available to them.
Oh, my goodness.
Like Shanahan's out there with duct tape just
he
piecing
is.
things
He
together.
is.
It's
But
amazing.
he's doing an incredible job. They're winning. And Mac Jones, who would have thought that he would be balling like he is?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he looks great.
Yeah.
He's shown toughness and kind of revived himself coming out of New England. You took the under on Ohio State at 10.5. I took the
Yeah.
over. I think we know where that's headed.
I think that they're going to be undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated season coming their way for sure. Oregon wins under 10.5 for Colin. I took the over.
Yep.
We'll find out in those games you mentioned.
Yep.
Utah regular season wins over the 7.5 for Colin. Over for me. I think they'll go over 7.5.
I think so.
They have
they've
2 conference losses, but they're still tough. They run the ball well and they
BYU
defend.
this last weekend took it to them, but I think they got some easy games ahead.
Cowboys regular season wins over 7.5 for Colin. I took the under. Dak Prescott's playing like an MVP. They're going to go over.
He is.
I think they are. He is playing as well as anybody in football right now.
Which is why this weekend coming up, they're playing the Broncos.
Yes.
And I heard you talking about it, and I'm thinking the Broncos' defense is great.
Yes.
But they're not going to be able to stop Dak. And clearly, Bo can have a few good series, which he did have a few.
But their offense has been struggling.
And so I don't know how they can keep up with a scoring machine. No matter how good that defense is at Broncos, they're not going to be able to stop both CeeDee Lamb and Pickens. And so I just think that they're just offense. They're just going to have to outscore everybody, and I don't think Broncos can keep up. So that +3 this weekend, I took the +3. I took the points.
All right, Washington Commanders regular season wins under 9.5 for Colin. I took the over. We'll find out. They've been banged up. Their defense is not playing well. They don't look good right now.
McLaurin's out. Debo's banged up. And
you might look like a genius on that one. Cincinnati Bengals wins under 9.5. I took the under. You took the under.
Oh, yeah.
That's
no question.
Once Joe Burrow went down, that was cash.
Flacco had a good game and pissed off Tomlin with that. He was hot about that. And he had a good reason. They went back and beat the Steelers the next week, but I think he's going to go down after this.
All right, Browns regular season wins. You took the over 5.5. I took the under. Hard to say with the Browns.
Yeah.
They have championship quality defense, but their offense is brutal.
Yeah, and Dillon's not their answer. They can run it, but they can't pass it, and Shadour's not going to be it. And obviously, they traded Flacco, so
they covered that game easy this past weekend because their defense just took apart Tua.
Yeah, and outdoor, and it was 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
it was
hideous
rainy.
condition.
It was nasty. Tua's not going to be able to survive in that. He's a fair weather player.
All right, Colin comes in. He's from law offices Goldberg Jones. He comes in every week to answer your questions that you send in to me. 1-800-DIVORCE is the telephone number. If you call him because you have questions, he gets back to you and answers any of your questions for free. It's a no hassle free consultation, which is nice. The first question I got for you, Colin, is how do personal injury settlements impact divorce?
That's a great question because this is a big deal. People who come in really are concerned about that. And generally, the courts consider personal injury settlements associated with the pain and suffering aspect as separate property. Oh. Because what's happening in there is when you get injured, the only thing they can do for an injury, like a broken arm, let's say, is tape money to it. Well, your spouse doesn't get to have the pain of a broken arm and doesn't, that the only thing that can do it is the money. And so that's separate property. Now, if it's wage reimbursement, like you missed work because of the personal injury and it's wage compensation, that can be marital. So generally speaking, separate property.
All right, good news. Next question. Colin, how do parenting plans vary for couples who have a child but weren't married?
Well, it's the same thing. The marriage, obviously, we know these days you don't have to be married to continue to have sex and have kids, and therefore you have to deal with the same thing. So you go through a custody case, and it's really just assessing the parents and their roles with the kids, their work schedules, their availability. The courts are very receptive to shared parenting plans these days, but it's really the two biggest things I tell people is to have a shared parenting plan or have involvement. Flexibility of work schedule. You have the availability to spend time with your kids, which these days with hybrid work schedules, working from home, you can do, and proximity to where the kids go to school or the daycare or the other parent. You have those two things, you can have a really substantially shared parenting plan. So whether you're getting a divorce or not, it's the same process to determine what's best for the kids.
All right, next question, Colin. Can you buy a house during a divorce?
Yeah, sure. It's a little more complicated. there are many times when the problem with buying a house, when you're in the midst of a divorce, it's the financing that's your issue, because no lender generally will touch you because they don't know who you are financially. They don't know what's been settled upon on child support or spousal support or how much money you're going to get. All of that creates uncertainty for a lender. Now, if you have enough cash or you're buying a cash outright, which would be great, no problem. And then usually it's a pre-distribution of your portion of the marital estate that you use for your down payment, et cetera. But your biggest problem would be the financing. So there's sometimes when people are more agreeable, they hold off on filing their divorce until the other spouse buys that house, use pre-distribution of the settlement proceeds, then they file the divorce because the financing's been secured.
We're talking to Colin Amos, law offices of Goldberg Jones. 1-800-DIVORCE is the telephone number. If you're facing a divorce, custody issue, or need a prenuptial agreement, call Colin at 1-800-DIVORCE. Next question, Colin, are there expectations for my ex and how they may spend the child support money? I send her money every month. Can she spend it however she wants?
You know the answer to this.
They can spend it however they want.
That's right.
You have no say.
Are there expectations? Absolutely. Every client has expectations of where that money should be spent, and they're always mad with right after their child support payment when she's out getting her hair done or things like that. But yeah, what I tell clients, which is frustrating for them to hear, because they want their money to be spent for the kids. I said what the court expects is if the child wears clothing,
yes,
they eat some kind of food, and they live in some kind of dwelling,
yes,
then that is child support. And I was just talking with Kate outside about that. And child support's set pretty reasonably, especially given the cost of living, rent or mortgages these days and food and driving kids around. So nobody gets to micromanage where the child support goes. You just close your eyes and write the check and don't think about it.
Yeah, my mistake was the child support was very reasonable. My mouth saying, "Don't worry, I'll help with the college and take care of that." Yeah, that's where
you were very generous. You were very generous.
But no, it's it's not as bad. I think too much TV and too many movies, right? I think guys freak out because they think alimony and high child support, but in most cases, I think it's very reasonable.
The state's done a good job in trying to create an objective standard. It's not perfect by any means, but both Washington and Oregon have this formula you use. You don't have to argue about it. You don't have to pay an attorney a bunch of money because you run it through the calculator. It takes into consideration your overnights and parenting time, gives you credit because if you're watching the kids more, if you're having them more overnights, you pay less child support. So they do as good a job as you can.
All right, next question. Colin, how do you correct a mistake on a divorce decree?
Well, if it's agreed, it's no problem. You can just open it up to correct it could be a Scrivener's error or an error in language or name or whatever. If it's not agreeable, there are only a few things you can really modify. You can modify parenting plan, child support, and spousal support. If there's other problems, you might just have problems in drafting that you just can't correct. So this goes back to that, what we always talk about. Just make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's. Make sure whatever deal you're going to sign, because the judge will sign anything. They don't care. They'll close their eyes and sign it. It's not their life. They don't have to live with it, but they will hold you accountable to it. So just make sure that order is well thought through. You've read it. Your attorney has looked over it, so it's something you can live with.
All right, next question. Colin, how do dads go about getting primary custody?
Yeah, this is much more common. Fathers are very involved. Fathers are getting custody, which is great because, our focus is representing men. So it's nice the courts are listening far more because men are more involved in the day-to-day care. So primary custody, a lot of people say, well, women always get custody. Well, historically, women have stayed home, haven't worked, stayed home with the kids, been the primary care parent. That has changed. So the more you're involved in the day-to-day care, driving them around, getting them to school, help get them to the doctor's appointments, being available to take care of those day-to-day functions. That's what primary care is all about, and more men are involved in those capacities. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
No, I love seeing dads more involved, and I hate dads getting a bad rap all the time.
That's right.
That's not the case in most situations.
Not at all. Not at all. But the more involved you are, and these days, the more you're staying home taking care of the kids. But if you're working 60 hours a week and mom's staying at home, it's going to be hard for you to get custody.
All right, Colin. Next question, tough one. What are my custody rights if I have to spend 6 months in prison?
In Oregon, you can't have custody. First of all, you can't have joint legal custody, whether you're in prison or not.
Yeah.
But if you're in prison, you don't really have much rights. You can ask, petition the court to have maybe visitation, maybe phone contact, things of that nature to get that put into the order. It's really hard to enforce. Again, you have to have somebody on the outside trying to enforce that. But really what I tell clients who are either getting ready to go to prison or in prison, it's like, be a good person, take parenting classes, do all the things you can do that because in prison, they actually have quite a few programs you can get involved in.
Yeah.
So when you emerge from that dark moment, however long you've been there, you can say, these are all the self-help things I've done that were sponsored and provided by the prison. So you walk out of court and you can say, I'm a reformed individual and I want to have a meaningful relationship with my kids, because the court really is good about saying, we know that people make mistakes. The question is, what are you doing about the mistakes and what kind of parent are you now?
Because in the end, as you pointed out many times, they want dads to be involved in the kids' life. Yeah.
Both parents.
All right, final question. This one's come up before, but I love it. Colin, how do I start the conversation of a prenup without my fiance getting mad at me?
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's no way. Unless your fiance has a lot more money and assets than you do, then she's like, sure, let's talk about this.
Yeah, if Travis Kelce wants to talk prenup.
Yeah, no problem. Taylor Swift is all in on that. Yeah. Haley, is it Steinfeld or what is that? Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen's wife now? Haley.
Yeah, I think it's Haley. She's hot.
She is. And, she had no problem talking about it. But, there's no easy way. I don't understand it because my position is,
Haley Steinfeld.
Steinfeld. That's what I keep wanting to say, Seinfeld. But, she didn't have any problem talking about it with Josh.
Of course not.
But Josh is such a nice guy. He probably went in like you. Was like, no, whatever I earn, you can have it. No easy way. But have the conversation. I can tell you, paying me a ton of money to resolve issues that could easily have been handled with a prenuptial that says this is how we're going to handle our life. And these days, prenuptials don't just deal with assets that you're bringing into the marriage. They also regulate how you're going to handle your income acquired during the marriage, retirement assets that you generate during the marriage, and spousal support. All that can be addressed up front and save you the grief and legal expenses if a divorce is pursued. If it's not, then you've done a contract that, you still share what you want to share during the marriage.
Yeah, it's very reasonable.
Yeah,
and more people are doing it now today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would think that if we know the divorce rate, right? Why not have that conversation ahead of time?
You just know that it's high, and 50% is generous. I think it's
more than that, right?
It's more than that, yeah. So man up, woman up, and get in there and take care of things.
All right. 1-800-DIVORCE is the telephone number. Colin Amos is in studio. I think that covers all the questions. We updated you on the win totals for the year.
That's right.
You're knee deep into it, man.
I am in full degenerate mode. I had my phone going with the Falcons, or not the Falcons. I had the Hawks on.
Yes.
I had the Lions on. I had the Mariners on.
The whole shebang.
I was like, wife, don't talk to me tonight. I am busy.
All right. Colin joins me every month to answer your questions. He'll be back next month. Colin, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, this is great.